What's up? This is Critical Point Reviews, and we are reviewing Now You See Me. You want to give the synopsis? Want me to give the synopsis?
You can go for it.
Alright. The story is essentially you got these four magicians. I would say you have kind of like a street magician kind of deal. That would be Dave Franco, James Franco's little brother.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. You have a big kind of like...
Oh, which one is that? The youngest one?
That's the youngest one. You have a Chris Angel magician. I would like Jesse Eisenberg's character.
From
kind of like
the Social Network.
Yeah, it's from the Social Network. And then you have an escape artist, Isla Fisher's character. I know she's been in some other stuff. I recognize her. I just can't remember where she's from. And then of course Woody Harrelson, who's kind of like a hypnotist.
I'm sorry.
Woody Harrelson, he's been in all kinds of movies. He's been in Cheers. You don't know who Woody Harrelson is. Where have you been? But and they get these cards each from this. We don't really know. They just have these cards from, I guess you would say, a mysterious society or something. We don't really know yet. And all to meet up at this one place. And we get to know the characters each beforehand, and they have their own each little moment before. And the movie jumps 1 year later, and you see them essentially robbing a bank through magic out of this big magic trick out of like
it's like on a show that they have
a
now,
big stage show in Vegas. I think is where they were at.
Like Vegas,
you know, and so essentially the cops and the FBI all want to know how they robbed the bank. It's like, well, we robbed it for magic, so you can't, that's not going to hold up in court. And it's kind of a play through the magicians getting away from the cops the whole time, and also discovering who asked them by the four cards that they were sent. And so that's pretty much. Yeah. Would you say there's anything else?
Kind of like the general plot of it. I mean, unfortunately, there really isn't anything
else. That's pretty much the general plot. So let's go ahead and get into the review. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, for me, I didn't know what to expect, but I mean, after seeing like The Prestige, it's not even fair to bring that up.
Yeah.
But after seeing The Prestige, I had a good feel of what.
Hold on real quick. Saying The Prestige, where you also had Morgan Freeman and Michael Caine in this movie. I guess Morgan Freeman, going back to the plot real quick, Morgan Freeman's character was essentially someone who, I guess, what's the word for it?
He used to be a magician, and then he was going to try and prove that, the way that people did tricks and stuff.
Yeah, and show behind the scenes.
Yeah, and he's making money off of that.
And Michael Caine was also in this, and he was kind of the producer of their magic show. He's the one who funded the whole thing.
He kind of backed them up.
Yeah.
But anyway, like after seeing The Prestige and then coming into this, I kind of had some high expectation because I felt like, there's so much material there that they could use in a lot of cool ways, and ultimately it kind of turned into a different kind of movie than I expected. And I'm not really sure what movie it turned into, but it wasn't like there was always this mystery there, but it wasn't. I don't think they really produced on what they seemed to promise in the beginning, and so like it just kind of turned into like an ordinary movie almost, and it had a lot of different special effects and stuff to try and make it more interesting, but ultimately I didn't really leave the movie feeling like I saw anything that was particularly special or different or important or particularly fun or entertaining. There was a few things. One thing in particular was the youngest magician. I think he had probably the coolest scene towards the end. But it just kind of made me think, okay, why are you doing this now? You could have been doing this the whole movie or doing stuff like it. And they just kind of give you a little bit, to go off of. But, I mean, ultimately, I don't know. I don't know really how to feel about it.
Yeah, I felt this movie played it just real safe, if that makes any sense.
So.
I felt like certain scenes, I was just like, I don't really understand. It was almost a run-of-the-mill action heist movie, and I feel like I've seen it done 100 times better. I feel like they were trying to pull an something like Ocean's 11.
Italian Job. I was thinking Italian Job.
I haven't seen the Italian Job.
You haven't seen it? That's a really good movie.
Okay.
It's a lot better than this one. But like I kind of felt like they were just doing these heists or whatever with magic, as a backdrop.
Yeah, and I'll say this about the magic: you kind of have to throw everything all sense of disbelief of reality out the window as soon as the movie. And because if you don't go along with what they're trying to present, you're gonna hate the movie first off. Because like when I say magic, I'm not like those magic tricks that they did were pretty much impossible. Like
a lot of
the stuff is
impossible.
Like even. I'm not gonna. I won't go in any detail, but it's kind of like one of those things, and I feel like they opened up the scenes like, all right, you kind of had to throw. This is one of those movies, and I was really
that's
trying
unfortunate because if they kept it believable and then used like computer concepts to it, it would have just made it a little bit better.
It almost felt like they each had their own special little
it was like
X-Men or something. Yeah, it's like
going out and doing this stuff.
And there's definitely a lot of sense of disbelief. So if you're going in for more of like I was like, a magician movie. There hadn't been. Well, it's not really a magician movie. It's more a superhero movie, I would say. Even though I don't think it's a good superhero.
Yeah, it's not. And my thing was like, because they did the whole, the cops trying to track him down, all this other stuff. I was like, that's kind of neat if you do something with it. But then at the same time, it was like, it felt like, for one thing, the female. And see, my thing is, I like it when they bring females into movies and they let them be like strong characters and stuff, and be cool characters. And a lot of times they don't pull that off. And in this movie, they didn't really do that for me. And ultimately, I thought she had some really, like, the way she presented so was really corny.
Yeah.
And kind of like, okay, that kind of ruins the moment kind of thing. And ultimately, like, each character had so much potential.
Yeah.
But I think with these movies, a lot of times you have these team environments, and people don't always know how to bring out the best for the sake of the movie.
I think,
and the story was kind of weak. Ultimately, it didn't really go.
It really was.
I kind of predicted a lot of stuff that happened, and then the twist at the end, which I won't say, but the little twist, I was like, I totally saw that coming. Like, I figured if it was going to be a twist, this would be it.
I really had a problem with the ending because I felt the whole thing the film was building to, it didn't really make any sense. Right. And I was like, whoa.
It didn't seem purposeful.
And there was in Michael Caine's plot. Like, it completely
just died.
It was like, okay. Please, just forget about that.
Yeah, like, why did you even have him?
Yeah, it was like,
it was building up.
Yeah, it was building up, and then something completely flat. And I was the ending actually kind of made me mad. I was like, why did you even show that? What was the purpose of that except because this isn't like, I guess it's the mystery of the mystery, but there was no mystery. It's like that.
It wasn't intriguing.
The whole plot line, and it almost completely countered of what they presented of the people that gave them the cards. Yeah. And I was like, well, that's completely opposite of everything you just told me in this movie.
Yeah, and it's like everyone could have been a lot cooler. Not that there wasn't any coolness there, but like everyone could have been a lot cooler.
And that's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, this is one of those movies. Give me 2 weeks. Now you see what? Oh yeah, now you see me. Now yeah.
Wasn't Kane in that?
Yeah.
Let's see no evil. No. But no, I felt like in a way, if they had just taken the guy from Social Network and built a story around him, and focused on, okay, we got to track this guy down, and then just added like different other twists and stuff, it could have been a lot better. But what they had is just they had a team, but it wasn't really a team.
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of good team.
Star
Trek. We saw a lot of good team movies, and X-Men and all this other stuff. How they were able to bring characters together, and they just didn't really do that for this.
I really don't. I wouldn't even recommend. Like I said,
the music was like something out of Shaft or something. I'm like, what is this music? Like I'm waiting for something.
It seemed almost seemed like generic. Like I could go to any heist movie and some of that stuff. I was like, wait, I think I've heard this before.
Right. It wasn't fitting. I didn't see where.
And there were certain moments that's like, I'm not gonna go into it, but I agree. There's certain moments you could predict automatically. Right. And it's one of the problems I kind of had also with Iron Man 3. There was a moment, I guess maybe 3/4 of the way through the film, and we're supposed to you're supposed to feel real sad. I was like, hold on, give it 20 minutes.
The moments with the Barracudas, they had the same music they played throughout the whole movie, and at that moment I'm like, okay, this could have been something, but it kind of,
it's just like I said, I'm gonna forget about this movie maybe even by tomorrow.
Probably by like the next few minutes.
Yeah, it's just and I was really let down because I think it could have used some better direction and a better script.
Right.
I think the cast was awesome, and that's the problem. Usually when you get a huge cast, you have to get a real good director to handle that cast.
Yeah.
And because I love the cast, I love Woody Harrelson, I love Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine. Yeah. I was like, oh man, but and then I was like, nope. I just have a feeling it's not going to be too good. And the script was extremely weak.
Yeah.
It had a couple funny moments, but that's about it. I think Woody Harrelson's character was some of the most funny. But let's go ahead and, unless you have anything else to say.
No.
All right, I guess I would have to give this. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2+. It doesn't reach a 2.5. It's something I'm gonna forget about. Just 2+.
I'll give it like a 2.
Mm.
Yeah, because I mean, I expected a lot more from it.
Yeah.
And I think my expectations have to play a really important role. Because sometimes I have high expectations, and if you can reach it, then it's even better. But typically they can't. And this wasn't. It was pretty high, and they let me down a lot. I didn't really feel like I watched the movie just now. It just was like kind of something I could have saw it on TV.
Yeah, and I think I would probably change it. I was like,
yeah, seriously, I would change the channel, watch the news or something.
And I feel like we've seen everything better in this movie.
Yeah.
Done better in another way.
Yeah.
But that's it, I guess. Again, Leroy gave it a 2. I gave it a 2+. Just stay away. Don't go watch it.
Yeah.
You'll be wasting your money, wasting your time. But thank you for watching Critical Point Reviews.